My name's Anthony Impey. I spent my career as an entrepreneur starting and growing businesses. And I wanted to just take the next 10 minutes to share a bit about my story as an entrepreneur and hopefully to give you some inspiration and maybe some courage around what you should be looking at in the future ahead in sort of what are really uncertain times. So if I start at the beginning, even from an early age, I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And so I started my first business when I was at school. School wasn't in a great area. There wasn't very much money in the area. Many of my classmates were in trouble with the police. But despite this, I started a business selling discounted stationery out of my school locker and went on to start making cut-price folders to sell to students in my school and schools in the surrounding area. We did pretty well and even won some awards. But what I remember most from this was that it taught me that it doesn't matter where you start, there are always opportunities if you're prepared to work hard enough. I started my next business a few years later when I left university. I wasn't actually planning to go to university, but my parents didn't think being an entrepreneur was a proper job and told me that university would be the best thing that I could do. So when I left university, I had no money. And I knew if I wanted to start a business, I'd need some money to pay for rent and food while I got things underway. So I offered to set up a telecoms business for a small mobile phone shop that I'd done some work for during my previous summer holidays when I was at university. And the deal that I did was that the business would pay me a salary while I set up the business, of which I would own 10%, which wasn't a bad deal considering I had absolutely no proven business experience. It took me 7 years to build up the business from scratch, which was sold, which made me a millionaire before I was aged 30. I went on to start and build another business called Optimity, which pioneered a type of broadband technology that replaced the need to dig up the road to install fibre optics. We were competing with the likes of BT and Virgin Media, who were giants compared to us. But time and time again, we were able to win business from them because we focused on looking after our customers. And as a result, I was able to sell a big stake in the business to investors a few years ago. And in all these examples, I didn't let the scale of the challenge I was taking on be the reason for not trying. At school, I wasn't going to let the fact that I was in a poor area where lots of my classmates were in trouble with the police hold me back. When I left university, I wasn't going to let the fact that I had no money stop me from starting a business. And when I was running Optimity, I wasn't going to let the fact that many of my competition included some of the biggest companies in the country to stop me from taking them on. However, the scale of the challenge entrepreneurs now face is huge. Pandemic is creating a business environment like nothing that's happened before. For some businesses, their customers have disappeared. Some are having to cope with a fraction of the incoming business they had before. Any savings that a business owner had have quickly disappeared. And while government loans have helped some, there's still debt that needs to be repaid. Without customers or cash, businesses just stop. In a more normal environment, you can often offset these losses through sheer effort and ingenuity, getting out and winning more business, getting more customers through the doors, or tweaking your products or services. However, for many startups, this wasn't an option during the crisis. The physical restrictions, the financial pressures, the overall uncertainty made it almost impossible to keep business flowing in. However, I would urge you all to stay committed and look for the opportunities the pandemic is creating. Because while it has caused huge problems for so many businesses, there are some who are thriving because they've responded to the new conditions that the pandemic has created. For example, in Cornwall, a business in the southwest of England turned their small pub chain into a food delivery service. The initial shock was huge, but the business reinvented itself within a couple of months. Lots of businesses have also started to really use technology to attract and service their customers. A friend of mine, Matt Carr, owner of Carr's Pasties, told me the other day that he believes that his business has jumped ahead 5 years by introducing new technology during the lockdown. So even in the toughest conditions, entrepreneurs can find opportunities. In fact, I believe that this decade will be the best time to be an entrepreneur for 3 reasons. The first is that the pandemic has got rid of a lot of the perceived risks of doing business with small companies or startups. The second is that companies are now far more open to doing businesses with small businesses and startups that may not have a city centre office or a large team or all those things that have previously counted for winning business from other companies. And then the final point is that technology is a great leveler. It enables scale with low overhead, meaning that small businesses can win against much bigger firms and compete internationally. The massive uncertainty and rapid change that we've experienced in the last year, and is likely to continue throughout this decade, are perfect conditions for entrepreneurs to thrive. It's not easy. It's going to take a monumental amount of work, and the challenges are immense. But the best opportunities are there for those prepared to do what it takes. 2/3 of people say that they want to start their own businesses, but most don't. Often people say that their own circumstances are stopping them from making the jump at this point. Sometimes the conditions don't feel quite right. But the truth of the matter is that there's never a perfect time to start a business. You've just got to do it. You've just got to start. Every time I've started a business, it's always been difficult. The odds have always been stacked against me, but I've always had the enduring conviction to do it anyway. So for every entrepreneur here today, I want to say well done for getting this far. I know it hasn't been easy, and I regret there are many tough times ahead. But I know that the rewards are out there if you keep going, even when others have given up, because you know it's the right thing to do. Thank you.